Hi, folks. Dr. Jim Gishwin here, retired intelligence analyst. Hey, look, I worked for the Director of Naval Intelligence in the Pentagon. I ain't going to tell you anything about things up there except, believe what you want to believe. I was just disappointed in this release of stuff. It's all the same stuff you saw on this Discovery Channel already. All the film clips. We've seen all those before. I mean, Lord Almighty. They should sit there and pay a fee to Discovery Channel for letting them use it on their website. Discovery Channel probably has copyright on it, for God's sake. All right, on to the Iran thing. By the way, I knew a long time ago that things like that existed or suspected it. When I was a young 16-year-old at Holloman Air Force Base at White Sands, New Mexico, White Sands Proving Ground, I used to sit there and cook and deliver food. There was this one building out in the middle of nowhere on the base. It had 20 cars around it, and it was probably the size of my office here. I always wondered about that. I don't wonder no more. That was close to where the chimpanzee retirement farm was for all our space chimpanzees from the Discovery program. My dad used to tell me, he said he'd take the brass out there, with the scrambled eggs on their hats, and visit the chimpanzees, the retired chimpanzees. And these chimpanzees, the minute they saw that officer scrambled eggs up there on the brim of the cap, would sit there and aim, feces at it. And my dad would have to sit there and say, I didn't train them to do that. I didn't train them to do that. I wonder who they ever did blame for that. Okay, Iran. Boy, oh boy. President Trump, everyone else in this world knows that the Iranians are just stalling so they can sit there and rearm. And sitting there attacking us and attacking ships in the Strait of Hormuz and sitting there publicly pronouncing, in no way in hell are they going to give up the Strait of Hormuz, is their answer to your thing. So quit giving them extensions and ultimatums. Mr. President, please, get out of this concept that there's a deal. I don't want a deal. I want a surrender, okay? You asked for an unconditional surrender to begin with. That was the proper ultimatum. Okay, this IRGC does not care about their people, so you can threaten to sit there and bomb railroad yards and bridges and water towers and oil wells all you want. It'll only hurt the Iranian people. And guess what? The IRGC does not care about anything other than staying in power. And they don't care about the Iranian people, or else they wouldn't have sit there and shot 50,000 of them. And they're executing more now. And you said that was a red line. Okay? They're hanging them every day. Thousands. Let Pete do his job. Turn it over to Pete. Say, hey, Pete, deal with it. Okay? You're not going to get a negotiated settlement, anything other than what looks like Obamacare 2 for Iran. That's it. That's all you're going to get. And they lie. They stall. They lie. This is their total tactic for the last 50 years, and you've known it. I am surprised, Mr. President. I am absolutely surprised at how many extensions you're giving these bozos. Okay? It's a suicidal maniac cult, a radical cult that believes that the only Armageddon will bring back their second Imam, and they're willing to sit there and produce Armageddon to get that second Imam. Okay? we have to sit there and understand these are not people that negotiate. We need, okay, 31 IRGC headquarters, 31 JDOMs, right down in the middle of those things, and their bunkers underneath the ground. And we need to get that nuclear dust out of there. Take Cargillon, control the straits. We do control the straits, but sit there and throttle them by controlling the oil outflow down in Cargillon. We can sit there and say, okay, you're going to get this much money out of it. We will keep the rest. Or we'll put an international agency in charge of it, of our own doing, not the UN's doing. Right? I like the fact that all our Middle Eastern allies are on board on all this. Quit listening to Turkey. Quit listening to them sitting there complaining about the Kurds. And for God's sake, give them some weapons. They cannot, they're getting mowed down when they go out and demonstrate. That's why they're not going out and demonstrating. They got nothing except baseball bats and rakes and hoes. Okay? This expected overthrow that you want is not going to happen until someone is armed out there. The IRGC's got all the ammunition. You don't think they haven't collected all the arms over all these decades? Okay. Smuggle them in. If there's more than one revolutionary organization over there, sit there and give it to all of them. Let them sit there and figure it out afterwards. As long as they all want democracy, let them democratically do it, figure out who's going to be the honcho in charge after that. Okay? But at least get rid of these people. These people you're not going to be able to deal with. That's just it. Pure and simple. Okay? And finally, well, Texas started it, so actually we started this gerrymandering thing. Actually, it's been around for a couple hundred years. It's nothing new, folks. We've been doing this for decades and decades, hundreds of years, ever since this place started, ever since the Constitution was written. And I like when finally on the news, I heard someone sit there and say, we are not a democracy, never have been. I'm going to tell you that. The Constitution was written to be a kind of a federated republic. We are a constitutional representative republic. When Ben Franklin walked out of there and they asked him what kind of government we have, he said, a republic if you can keep it. Okay? And I'm doing my part to sit there and teach the next generation what liberty and patriotism, what America's all about. By the Constitution. I am a constitutionalist first. Republican second. Well, actually, a Christian first. Constitutionalist second. Okay? That's what drives me, is the Constitution. I've gotten awards for teaching the Constitution, folks. The Constitution, the Republicans have sat there and done things that are not good for the Constitution just as well as the Democrats. Democrats, the closest thing we came to pure socialism is during Roosevelt years when he used to wake up and say, what price of gold, what should I make the price of gold today? Okay? That was the closest we got to it. Of course, democracy was a word never used until Progressive Woodrow Wilson in World War I when he said, we're going to make the world safe for democracy. Democracy was our founding fathers did not want democracy because democracy means everyone rules. That was the downfall of Athens. They knew that. It's mob rule, basically. Pure democracy is mob rule. And we can't have that. We are a representative, constitutional republic. Actually, we're a more federated republic. We've become that way. We are a mixed economy. Okay? We're not pure capitalism either. We are free market. Anyway, folks, let's pray. Someone, my date sat there and made a bet with me that he was going to do something Monday. I'm praying he does. Come on, man. Get this over with. You're stalling as much as they are, okay? Don't worry about Turkey and the Kurds. The Kurds have been our great allies forever. Okay? They were our allies in Iraq. They're our allies in Syria. They're our allies now in Iran. They're up in northwestern Iran. And they're armed. Anyway, folks, happy Mother's Day. I sent my mother a bunch of things that she's a pure-blooded, hair-on-fire Democrat, liberal. She's not a Democrat no more. She's whatever these other people purport themselves to be. I know she doesn't understand that this party is not the same party of JFK. I hope she comes to that conclusion sometime soon. She just got Trump derangement syndrome so bad. So I sat there and sent all my gifts and cards and stuff and tell her I love her. Okay? Politics should never enter into family discussions. It will tear families apart. Trust me, I see it. I love you all. God bless America. God bless all our families. Remember, family is the key. Never forget your families. God bless Trump. God bless you. And I remain your very humble servant. And let's get her done, Mr. President.